fun because I told you guys, I don't want to kill you with a lot of theory. We will do some praxis. My assistant is here, so Sinye and Kevin, yeah. So I hope that give you a little bit more what you can do with your athletes and how you can do it. And then we will finish for the day. And then we start again tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Malaysian time, 9 o'clock Jakarta time. So it's a pleasure to have you here. And let us start with the whole thing. So when you talk about injuries and track and field, we had it already. So for me, it's every time shocking when I see statistics. And when you see 100 athletes, it's a prevalence from 3.1 to 170% per athlete. So that means actually some athletes have 2 injuries in 1 year. Yeah. And most of the injuries occur during the training. Now we are coming back, what I said before. What can be happen? Is this maybe overtraining or we want too much? And we didn't realize what is going on, or is something else. During competition, yes, we know what can be happen. Very simple for me, maybe he's over motivated, he want too much, and then it can be happen. Yeah, but why we have actually so many injuries in the training? Yeah. And most of the injuries, what we use, what we know as well, is actually by overuse. Yeah. And around 60% is normally lower limb stuff. And these are the table you see, and I show you guys this before. Think about sprint hurdles. Yeah. Acute tight injuries. We just talk about it. Hamstrings. Yeah. Achilles tendinopathies. Yes. Clear. Yeah. Ankle sprains, pole vault, too many jumps. You're tired and you don't jump. You run on the mat. You twist your ankle. It's very fast. Yeah. Cerebral head and spinal cord traumas. Yes. Think about the video before. The pole snapped and you fell down. Throws, most actually is overused, but it's also twisted ankle. Middle and long tense, normally straightforward, is overuse. And then most of our middle and long distance runners facing a typical injury for them is stress fractures. Stress fractures, we had it already. It normally starts very simple with a chin splint. It's getting more, it's getting, yeah. And most of the athletes discovering in front of your tibia a swelling. What's not going away. Some people don't have a swelling, they only feel pain. It's getting worse. A lot of people, when you touch, when you put your down inside where they feel pain, this is much more painful and it's quite soft. And when you have this, you have to be very careful. It is the first step to get a stress fracture. And most of this overuse stress fracture, what we call it, check your shoes. Yeah, check the technique, what we're coming later. And most important for me, check the muscles, especially the calf muscle, the soleus and the gastrocnemius, yeah, plus the tibialis, and also which kind of stretching you are doing for your Achilles tendon. Yeah, think about this. And a lot of people say, oh, I can't actually stretch tendon. Forgot it, it's not true. This is actually a long-term. In the Second War, a lot of people found out that the camels, when they're walking in the sand, they sprayed their feet, and they are all tendons between, and you can be stretched very well, and it's getting more and more. So you can stretch quite well your tendon. This is very important to do this every time before you start training. And people having Achilles tendon issues, shin splint issues, the doing after the surgery or injury, the doing a lot of this stretching stuff, but it's very, very helpful. So when it's coming to injuries during major competitions, you can see, why actually people got injured. For me, what I miss a little bit is this, what was happened to them before the competition. Was there any injury before? This you can't see in any statistics because they never asked. You only said, oh, he was injured in the competition. But was there something before? And he might be didn't tell you. Or the coach knows about that and the doctor knows about it and let him run or jump. When you still remember some couple of hours ago, I show you this nice video about Achilles tendon. I had a lot of experience about Achilles tendon injuries. I'm sure she had something before. And this we have, to realize, is our athlete totally fit to compete? Or I have to say, as a coach, maybe I can't win with him or her, so better for me to withdraw. Sometimes we have to realize that also our athletes are too over-motivated and they want to do more. Best example, my athletes in the Asian Games, he wanted to jump, but he had one day before 39 fever. So I was totally against it, but he wants to jump. And it was a totally failure. And the next day, all the newspaper killed him. What is totally not fair because nobody knows what was behind it. So, but in the end, only the results count. And you don't bring it a good result, people will jump on you because you are the coach and you are responsible for your athlete. So check this every time out. Is there something before the competition? The rest, we know that. The reason why male suffer more injuries than female, we have to check it out. So, and this is what we had. So trunk, ladies 12 to 13%, men 14%. Hip and groin not so much, but you see the type. The men have much more. And when it's coming to lower leg, the ladies also actually leading in the lower leg than the men. So ankle injuries, you realize as well that ladies having more issues than men. So to find what can be the reason, unfortunately, nobody have the time to make a survey to all athletes around the world to check this out, what can be happen. But there's only some, what we might be expect. One thing I told you already is he didn't tell you. Or you know as a coach, but you said, okay, Let us try. Yeah. For me, why actually ladies having not so much issues with their type, my experience tell me one thing. Ladies are much more flexible than men. And this is a fact. Yeah? We have to accept it. Yeah, as a man, we have to say, okay, we have to step backwards. We lost. But it's okay. We can win another game. Yeah, but this one, when it's coming to flexibility, no. Ladies are much better than men. Okay, good. Coming to injuries in young athletes. Yeah. A lot of officials also now pushing, we are having more and more competition, the youth Olympics, etc., etc. For me, it's not good because the coaches are pushed to push the athletes more and more. And when you have young athletes, they have to grow. And of course, when I do some specialized training, I will be better. But is this actually the whole thing to do to make them a top athlete in the future? Because when you overtrain him, he might be good when he's 16, 17, 18, and then he will know, and that's it. After that, he is outpowered, and that's it. Yeah. So you see, and this point already, yeah. When our muscles or our musculoskeletal system is not perfectly developed yet, we have a lot of issues to get injured. Yeah. Think about the knee Schlutter, yeah, lower back problem, yeah. This is all injuries what can be to young athletes. Yep. And the worst is when people or when the young athletes getting too many injuries, what will be happen? They will lose, they will run interest in sports, and that's it. Yeah. And we don't want that these guys, hate sports after a while. Yeah. So according to the existing literature, prevention, yeah, have to be a focus, yeah, in your training as well. My advice for everyone, yeah, make it relaxed and easy, but maybe 2 or 3 times per week, you create yourself a prevention program for your athletes. And what I want from you, and this is, you can take home this message, every athlete is different. So some athletes, they are flexible. Some athletes, they are not. Some athletes have a very good sensomotoric system. That means the brain and the muscles work very well together. But some people don't have this. So try to find out for everyone what is the best for him or for her. Make a tailor-made program for these people. For me, it's very clear. Everyone is special, and we have to treat him like this. So bring something up for him, for her, when you realize, oh my God, this coach really taking care of me. He wants something. And I feel actually like in the center. Yeah. He wants something, and I'm not only a subject that he win medals. I'm the athlete, and he wants to bring up in a very good way, and he wants to get me better. This is the most important thing for me, to optimize actually your training, and then people get better. Yeah. And every athlete will be very, very happy when you do something special for him. Yeah. And right now, everyone said, oh, we need a huge team and the support team getting bigger and bigger. Yes, it's true. There is no doubts about that. But some countries don't have these resources yet. So as a coach, you have to go inside as well. And sometimes you have to be the mental coach. You have to be the masseur. You have to strength and conditioning coach. You have to be coach for technical events. You have to be everything. Sometimes you have to be a dietitian, yeah, the nutritionist, everything, and the biomechanics. So to find a good way to help your athletes, you have to see all those things. Yeah. Because when you have this kind of experts beside you, is much easier. Yeah. But in the end, you are the coach. You are responsible. Yeah. You are the guy in charge, not someone else. It makes no sense when the nutritionist is in charge of your athlete. Yeah. And he said, oh, he can't train, he can't do this. No, you are the man or the woman in charge of this. Yeah. Find a good team that will help you to bring your athlete up. Okay, good. We are coming now to, yeah, something how to make your injury prevention like a strategy. Yeah. First of all, track and field, overuse injury. We realize this is actually the main point. When you have to think about yourself, write it down, when your athletes actually having the most injury, in which kind of trainings phase. Yeah, check that out. Find a good, yeah, think about, is this endurance, is this a power, is this the technical, when is it? Sometimes small clues helping you. Secondly, start with a good, yeah, prevention program. Yeah. Also, when the guys are injured, of course, they need a perfect rehab. This is clear. Yeah. But we know this one, yeah, have to do, but we're coming later today, how we do the biomechanical approach. Yeah. And what will be happen when you bring this insight. So we had this already, hamstring. I guess every athlete had it before, maybe twice. Some people also have a lot of adductor issues. And what can be happen? Imbalance of the hamstrings and the quadriceps, we said already. But there can be also, ladies and gentlemen, an imbalance between the adductor and the abductor of the muscles. Think about your IT band. Can be very tight. Your adductor is weak, you will facing some issues. Secondly, check. Ladies, most of the girls, when they are landing, they have a valgus. Valgus means they are moving inside with their knees. Yeah. Later I will show you what it means. But when you can see this in a technique and you do hurdle jumps, etc., what you need plyometrics, and you do this over 2-3 years, you will create one of the nice cartilage issues in the knee of this lady. So check that out. What can be happen? Is there Is there a technical issue? Is there imbalance? Also, sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, check with the doctor. Is there might be something happen with the lower back? Yeah, do a medical checkup. Yeah, and a lot of people having lower back issues, do an X-ray, find out what can be happen. Improve flexibility. Flexibility, normally track and field athletes are quite flexible. What we have an issue is every time one thing is the mobility. A lot of track and field people having issues with their hip mobility. And now you're coming back, what I said every time, what is the difference with mobility and flexibility? Mobility is actually how far my joint can move. Flexibility, how flexible are my muscles? Different. And a lot of people mix this up every time. And I said, guys, please, 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 please check. And later on, we're doing in the practical session, you will see how you can make it easily, yeah, to check that out, yeah. Ankle sprain is a big issue for all track and field, especially in the jumps, shot put, discus, yeah. How we can find out that maybe my ankle is too weak? Is there something that it may be too loose? Yeah. What kind of training I can do for my ankle to stabilize it? A lot of people say, oh, you know, you do some stabilization exercise, balance exercise, you put them on wobble boards, etc., etc. But for me, it's a simple question. All this exercise, when we do this, we are standing on a wobble board, we are training actually over 0.3 seconds. Slow. That means our receptors giving signal to the brain in 0.3 seconds. Yeah. So we have to do this, we have to activate this muscle, so it's fine. But every injury actually are caused under 0.2 seconds. So there's a gap between 0.1 second between our maybe call it prevention exercise, what we're doing on the wobble board, and what has happened to the brain. So how we can change this? So we can do it not every time the same. So we change the exercise. Also, what we're doing as well, we can do something special. Call it, we disturb this athlete with expected disturbance or unexpected disturbance. A lot of people say, okay, what is it? Simple. Think about, we are going to the Asian Games and your athlete had the ankle sprain 3 months ago. Big competition. What do you think, how many disturbances now affected her or him? Number one can be the noise in the stadium that can affect your performance, and you might be scared. Secondly, maybe you're thinking one of your opponents step inside your lane when you do your run-up. Can be happen. Number three, some of the fans don't like you, and he put a laser pointer in your face. I hope this will not be happen, but it can be happen. And for me, important factor as well, when this girl or this man twisted their ankle when he stepped on the plastiline on the takeoff board, he will be very afraid to see this again. How to overcome these fears? The English have a very nice word about that. They call it inhibition. So you have to overcome, you as a coach, to help your athlete to overcome this kind of inhibition. That he's not afraid, that he said, yes, I'm here, I can. Yeah? Good. This is for the first time that we are doing a little bit also for our own. When you want to know a little bit more about hip mobility and flexibility, we did a very nice publication last year, and it was only about track and field. What we are doing now, we will do this kind of program in our practical session. So when you have any questions, we come now before we start with our practical stuff. I will be happy. So, and later on, we are only doing this kind of flexibility and mobility program for our practical session. I guess it's quite important for you guys to know. And I said already, you won't have any questions, you might be afraid to talk right now. It's very simple. You can send me an email. My email is there. So I hope you had a small view. When you have some questions, I will be happy to answer. Don't be shy. Yeah, we will be here. And yes, Kevin, I need your help to close the whole thing again.
And I already set up the side.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Great. Q&A.
okay.
All right. So don't be shy. Any questions? I will be very happy. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
George. Yeah, this is Droli Claraval from the Philippines. I just want to ask about the fascia, the function of the fascia during the mobility. Does the fascia affect the mobility of an athlete
No.
during the action?
No. The fascia is actually, it's very elastic. Yeah. It's very good. So there is no, the mobility, we are doing this with your joints later that you can see what you can do actually. The fascia has nothing to do with this. Yeah. So no worries about that. The fascia is only for you important when your athletes got injured, because a lot of people say, oh, I pull my muscle, but sometimes it's not a muscle, it's actually the fascia. And people have to understand that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you need good physios. There are a lot of physios have good hands. They got golden fingers. He can feel it. Yeah. It's very quite important. Or you have a good doctor, but he can do that. He is doing this with the ultrasound. He can see as well. But I'm very honest to you. A lot of people say, oh, you pull the muscles. And then, Trolley, 1 week rest. And you said every time, why we have to rest? I mean, this is our athletes. It's not good because when you rest, we lose our fitness. And in 1 week, we lose 30%. And how I get it back? As a coach, you every time under pressure, I know that. Yeah. So for me, yes, we accept he's injured, but what I can do to bring him faster back in a good way, not in a bad way. Yeah. Bad way is very simple. You can give him some painkillers and you don't feel anything, but this means anything for you. You don't want that. So important, what is the best way? What is the best program for him to bring him in the top level again? Injuries can be happen, of course. And the important is when you have the right diagnosis, that you know what's going on. And Dr. Harchett this morning said it very nicely. We work together. The doctor, the coach, the physio, masseur, strength and conditioning, nutritionist, mental coach, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But important, the coaches are in charge, not someone else.
Follow-up
And another-
question, Sir George. Okay,
Pardon?
sorry, follow-up question.
Yes.
Yeah, so for the clarification, so during the process of injury of the muscles, that's the time that the fascia will be affected if the muscles is already been injured.
Everyone is different. When you think about, I mean, what I said already, the fascia can actually recover very fast. Yeah, better than muscles. So this is the good one. We also think about how to involve this. You think about your training. I don't know which kind of event you're doing, but when you think about you're doing, call it now, you're a jumps coach. Yeah. And you are now in the phase where you say, okay, explosive power. Yeah. Short before the competition. So sometimes then you're doing maybe the drop jumps. And some people said already, oh, coach, I feel something in my hamstring. Now it's every time you can say no, or you say, I put something on. Or you say, look, better is we cut it off because this is a very good high sensomotoric event. One more wrong attempt, and that's it. For me, when you as a coach, you realize that your athletes are no more, but we call it mental fit, or they make mistakes in your technique, stop it. It's getting worse. And this, don't say, oh, today my training schedule said I have to do 20 jumps. When this doesn't work, yeah, makes no sense. Or we do drop jumps, 6 repetition, 5 sets. But you realize that his contact time getting slower and slower, something has happened to him or to her. Stop it. It makes no sense because then you produce the injury and we don't want that. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. I guess there is a question here. What exercise technique is important? Okay, guys. When it's coming to biomechanics, is our next topic today. Anyway, we will see when you have to do it tomorrow. Normally, for me, it's very simple. Do it before the, you know exactly the season is finished. You know how good is the technique. This is what you need. What is your next goal? Where you want to go? You don't have to do a biomechanical approach every 3 weeks. Makes no sense. We don't have the money anyway. Yeah, but call it in pole vault. He's 16 years old. He jumped 460. He's 17. You want to bring him to 90. How I do this? Where is his weakness? Very simple. Where is his strength? His strength, I don't have to train, but I have to train his weakness. So when he's not a good sprinter, I have to do more speed training. When he don't have a good strength, I have to put more. But he is very good in jumps. So I don't have to train. I only have to maintain this thing. So for my understanding, what is very good as a coach to have all this data, everything black and white. The more data you have from your athlete, is much easier for you to go forward.